Welcome to today's tutorial. We are going to learn how to take PDF files and turn them into electronic forms using Adobe Acrobat. When you open up Adobe Acrobat, you'll get a screen like this one. To open up a file, it's pretty simple. Just go File, Open, and then choose the file that you're wanting to open, the PDF, from the folder that it's located in. So here's the file that I'm going to be working with. It's the Admission to Teacher Education Block 2 form. Once we have our PDF open, we need to prepare the form to become an electronic form. You can do this in two ways. On the right-hand side, I have a list of all of my tools open, or if you come up to the top, there's also a Tools button. I like to work with the tools on the right-hand side. I want to find the tool that says Prepare Form, which is right here. So I'll click on Prepare Form, and Adobe will actually do a lot of the work for me. It's going to analyze the form and see where it thinks that data should be entered. And this form does require signatures, so I'm going to click here before I click Start. Now Adobe has gone through the form and it's put fields wherever it thinks that it may need to have data entered. As you can see, it's done a lot of the work for us, but it hasn't quite done everything. We don't have any buttons available to select 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on. We don't have any options to check ESU or any of the other colleges, so that's what we need to look at next. One of the things that I noticed on this form is that it does not have checkboxes available for the colleges, so that's the first field that I'm going to add. If you come up to the top here, when you're in Prepare Form mode, you'll see all of these buttons that allow you to add different fields. This one with the little check mark allows you to add a checkbox. So I'm going to click here, and I can move my mouse down so where I can click next to ESU, and they've added a checkbox. Now you can change the names, or you can leave them as is, and then you can continue on to add more. So I have one checkbox. I'm going to add another one next to Barton County, and so on. As you can see, these boxes are a little bit too big. I'm going to add the 5 that I need, and then later I'll worry about changing the size of them. So there's 5 checkboxes right there. If you're not sure if you like them, or if you're just not sure about how they are added, you can always go up to the top right hand corner and hit preview, and you can see what they'll look like and how they would work. So these, you just click them if you want to select that, and click again to deselect. When you're done previewing, go back to edit, and then you can continue working. The next field that we need on this form is a button in order to select 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or limited evidence. So I'm going to come up here to the radio button field. I'll click on this. I'll bring it next to my 5 and click next to my 5. Now, since this is the first question, I want this group to be group 1. So every button that is an option for group 1 for the first question will have to have the group name group 1. And since this is my first button to choose from, I'm going to give it choice 1 as the radio button choice. Now I'm going to click add another button so I can make choice 2 and so on. This says group 1 choice 2. If I did not have the name changed, for example, if this still said choice 1, then both of these buttons would select at the same time, even if I just clicked one of them, which we don't want. Now I'll hit add another button. This one needs to be group 1 choice 3, and I'll continue on checking along the way to make sure that the name is changing. Group 1 choice 4, group 1 choice 5, and our last one should be group 1 choice 6. So those are all added. I want to preview to make sure that this has done it correctly. If I click on 5, then 5 should be selected. If I click on 4, then 5 should be removed. And that's what happened, so that's good. And I'll check that all the way through. That all looks good, so now I can go back to editing and I can add more buttons. So when I add more buttons, I have a new question here. We're on the second option for this particular form. So because this is a new set of choices, I need to have a new group. I'm going to make it group 2, choice 1. And then I'll add another button for group 2, choice 2, and so on. If I did not change it to group 2, then when I chose something in group 1, it would also select it on the buttons below as well, which obviously we don't want. Okay, I've added buttons for that. I'm going to preview again. Right now we have one selection for each of the options. I'm going to just click randomly and make sure that one selection doesn't make something else move that I don't want to move. It looks pretty good. I can edit it more thoroughly later. But for now, I think we're good to move on. Later on, we'll see how to clean up these buttons, make them smaller, make them align better. But for now, we have what we need with the buttons. Another thing that I notice on this form that I need to add is a place to add comments below each question. So for number 1, we see that it says comments, but we don't have any option to actually type in a field. So if I come up to the top, I see the T surrounded by a rectangle. That's our text field. I'm going to click on that, drag it down next to the comments. I'll put it right below here. And then I want there to be as much room as possible to write. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm just going to drag it out here. And now we have room to write. You may decide that instead of having buttons, you want a drop-down list. So if that's the case, you'll come up to your fields, you'll choose this one, which is the drop-down list, click on it, and then bring it to wherever you want the drop-down list to be. I'm going to put it below my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because it's going to take place of that. After you have added your drop-down list, you need to adjust the properties. So click on All Properties, and we need to add our actual choices. So I'm going to click on Options, and next to Item, we type in our first choice. First choice is 5, so I'll type 5 and click Add. Then I also need the option for 4, so I'll type 4 and click Add. Then I'll do the same thing for 3 and 2, 1, and limited evidence. Once I have all of my choices added, I can hit Close, and my drop-down box is created. Now if I hit Preview, I can see how it looks. So you see here, we just click, and then we can choose between 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and limited evidence. Looks pretty good, so I'll go back to edit mode and I'll keep working. Obviously, this form will need more text boxes for comments. You'll have to make the decision on whether or not to use buttons or the drop-down boxes. But right now, we're going to go down to the bottom and look at a new field that we need to talk about. And that is our signature field. Right here, it has a text field for us. If we want to be able to electronically sign this, then we need to change it to a signature field. I'm going to take this and delete it just by clicking on it and then choosing delete. And then I come up to my fields and choose the rectangle that has an X and a line segment through it. That's our add signature field. I'll click on that and bring it down next to the submitted by. I'm going to try to line it up right there on the line and stretch it out so it fits. And this will give us the option to electronically sign instead of just type in the name. The final topic that I want to talk about today relates to how Adobe prepares the form. Although it does a great job getting the form ready for us, sometimes the program misses some of the things or misunderstands how we want the form to be completed. And an example of that is right here where it says admitted, admitted conditionally, and not admitted. Adobe has added just text fields to these forms when really we want to be able to do checkboxes. So I'm going to delete each of these text fields, and instead I'm going to add a checkbox. So I'll come back up here to the checkbox field and add one next to each of these. Something to keep in mind is that checkboxes are not mutually exclusive, meaning that whoever fills out the form could actually choose as many of the checkboxes as they want. Obviously, in this case, we only want to choose one, and the directions only tell us to choose one. But if you want to make it so that only one can be selected, if you want to ensure that, you would want to go with a radio button instead, because radio buttons are for mutually exclusive events. In today's tutorial, we looked at some of the basic tools available in Adobe Acrobat, and we learned how to use some of the basic fields. Obviously, we don't quite have a finished product yet. If we preview it, we see that it still needs to be cleaned up and finished quite a lot. So, if you would like to learn how to edit the fields and how to edit the PDF files within Adobe Acrobat, stay tuned for our next tutorial. Thank you.